Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Centre. This is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is Sparta!
All your days are belong to us.
It's a trap 9000!
Stop collecting all of us.
Leave Benny alone!
Leroy Dragon!
Objection! The balls are inert.
Time to sedan.
And now it begins.
All right, everybody. It is Nerd to Know Basis, and this is Bryn here on Phoenix 92.5 FM. And as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, and we have a special guest this week. Say hi, guys.
Hello, Kieran Calico, not the special guest, but thrilled to be here all the same.
Hey guys, Darryl O'Connor, what's up?
And I am the special guest. My name is Kev Coffey.
Woo!
Welcome to the show, man.
How's it going, guys?
Hey Kev, welcome to the party line.
Yeah. Welcome to the
I
party,
feel
pal.
welcome.
Oh man. Full disclosure, I'm playing Saints Row 4 at the moment, so if anything happens, or if if you hear some random noises, that's what it is.
Oh, this podcast's already been demonetized.
Yeah.
Saints Row 4. Oh, you done dipped it.
Oh man, Saints Row.
What, is it just because of the name Kev Coffey? Are you in some sort of watch list or something like? Or?
No, I'm talking about Saints Row.
No, Saints Row. But to be fair, Saints Row 4 is like less crazy than 3, which was mad.
2 and 3 are wild.
Yeah.
I have to say though, like I don't really like Grand Theft Auto that much. It's it's not really my thing. But I love Saints Row 4. I love Saints Row 3 and I love Saints Row 4. The series.
It's because like while GTA, while still going for the wacky and wild stuff, Saints Row went just hog out and just everything is on the table. Particularly in like those last two, like it just.
Oh yeah.
Because even by Saints Row 2, because Saints Row 1 was the real, just kind of like, street level gang copy of GTA. But by the second one, when you're breaking out of jail and just everything's a lot more colorful, and you're organizing the street gang in an old chapel with like neon lights. It's wild.
But it's much more fun, Saints Row, GTA 4 was great to mod, but as a game, I'm like, this is kind of boring. And GTA 5, I've never got past the first like half an hour because I'm like, this is really boring. Like for me, Rockstar Games peaked with Bully. I think Bully's amazing.
Like the PS2 era.
Yeah, well, Red Dead Redemption's good, and obviously that. But for me personally,
I'd forgotten about Bully. What a weird game.
Yeah, right.
I remember people getting I remember like parents especially getting very upset about it around the time it came out.
The inflammatory headline of it was, "What if Bully but in school?"
Yeah.
Or what if GTA but in school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you actually play the game, it's like it's the exact opposite of what they said it was.
Yeah.
The actual premise of the game is completely anti-establishment. Anti-establishment. Like it's.
But also anti-bully as well.
Yeah.
Because you end up, your big protagonist, your big antagonist is, the main bully or whatever. But I played that game like 4 or 5 years ago on the Xbox, and then over Christmas, I'm like, I can't believe I missed this game. This is crazy. And I got it again there for It is a testament to how fun that game is that I play console now. I play controller. But I bought it on Steam for like £3 a couple of years ago. And like no controllers been able to plug into the PC. So I just started playing keyboard and mouse and keyboard. Still managed to get through the whole game. Yeah, no, it's just you can do so much with it, and I think that level of customization was kind of lost with the GTA games, so they never really had that kind of like appeal, except for modding, obviously. But with Saints Row 4, man, like Saints Row 3 is fun, but Saints Row 4, they're kind of like, we have all these ideas, let's just do all the ideas. Like for example,
the moment when you log on and you can make your character be this opulent, opalescent, like green. and then you're the president.
But here's the thing, though, right? Even before, I don't even mean in story. I mean in gameplay, right? Let's put it this way: I'm rescuing Johnny Gat at the moment. It starts off with a retro style 8-bit homage to Streets of Rage, and then you end up in a mech suit, just killing everything.
Yep.
And that's in 20 minutes. So that's how wild the game is. And also, you're a superhero. It actually has the best superhero mechanics of a non-superhero game. For example, I was a big fan until I wasn't of the DC Online game. And if you act like the MMO that was released that just failed epically, if they just got the Saints Row people in to do that, they would have had a much better superhero premise, because you're basically
more like you felt more like a superhero in Saints Row game.
Yeah,
than you did in it's like the way that in what was that, like there was a game on PS2 as well, Second Sight, where I felt more like a Jedi in that than I did in any Star Wars game I ever played.
Second Sight's actually a really good game.
Second Sight's unreal.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some of them, like the Attack on Titan game that was released on the PS4 there a few years ago. I was playing this is the best Spider-Man game I've played in years.
I remember you saying that. Yeah, is it up to date on all the series, or is it just cover series 1?
Oh, that was this was about 4 or 5 years ago now. This release, so that was only season 1.
Okay.
They did release a new one. Apparently, they've been updating that with the whole new season. But at the time, because this was obviously before this PS4 Spider-Man came out, it just everything felt so flowy.
When someone else is doing your game mechanics better than you, questions need to be asked. And that's just one thing that, if I went back and played DC Online because it's on the PS4, I'm like, why not? And I was just like, you know what I need? Saints Row 4. Because it's so much more satisfying than anything in this game,
Even just that ability to just the movement of running up buildings and just I'm crossing the city in 2 seconds flat here like this.
Oh yeah, well the only thing about it is it's funny because it makes all the vehicles completely obsolete.
Oh yeah.
Just with it, as soon as you get the wall running or flying ability, you're like, you know what? I never need to be in a car again. But it has one of the best soundtracks as well that you can only really listen to while you're in a car.
You're like, how about I getting this beat up humdinger and just listen to, I don't know what. I want to say Paramore, but I know that was Saints Row 2.
Yeah.
Well, you have Stan Bush in it. You got the touch.
The touch.
They have a really, really weird selection of music, and then some good tunes. You're like, this makes no sense, but I like all of this. So I will have to say I was disappointed when I played Aidens of Mayhem, which is not a good follow-up, and hopefully Saints Row 4 will come out. Yeah.
I entirely forgot about that game.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Out of my loyalty to the series, I have 12 hours logged into it, but it's just not good. It just really isn't.
Speaking of gaming, actually, on a few episodes ago, Dara, you mentioned you tried to play Fortnite. I asked my class of 7-year-olds how to play Fortnite, and they got a bit salty with you, if you don't mind me saying.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh, he got stuck on the menu. How do you get through? And this little 7-year-old goes, just wait in the lobby.
Yeah, I haven't got time for that, man. Seriously. I do. Look, I got news. Look, when those kids have to deal with people on phones about their websites going down, yeah, you can't just wait in a lobby. Stuff needs to be done, or else you get fired, 7-year-old. Okay, good job.
Welcome to the real world, kid.
Exactly. No one waits. You get 4 phone calls from people and Slack messages. Sorry, child, you can't wait. The world doesn't work that way.
7-year-olds have phones now. They probably are going through exactly the same emotional wreckage that you are at that end.
No, man, I just logged out and played another game. I was like, the hell with this.
Immediately reminded of that Ron Swanson quote, child labor laws are ruining this country.
Yeah, the older I get, the more Ron Swanson I become. This is just how it is.
Oh, that clip of him just spinning around the desk perpetually. You hit a point in the day where that's your mood.
Yeah, it's called the morning.
Feel free to inform your children how my response to their saltiness.
Oh, I've told them to show around. They're all going to be listening to this.
Okay,
we're going to open up a dialogue here. Dara versus the 7-year-olds.
Young children, get a job. Stop freeloading. You'll understand.
And not radio or podcast. That's taken.
Oh man. Here, hold on. Here's the thing, though, right? At what point did we cross where waiting in a lobby was an acceptable thing? Like, yeah, okay, we moved past that when you were playing like Quake or something. You're like this great or Unreal tournament. You're like, yeah, you know what? I'll wait with my dial-up. I have no problem waiting for dial-up. But then we got past it where you could have instant games, and then we've gone back where it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait in the lobby.
I think it's
V-Bucks.
I think it's a different problem nowadays, where before it was a matter of speed, now it's a matter of volume on server. I think
something like Fortnite, there's 100 players in the game, so you're gonna have to wait for 100 players to log in.
See, I think it's even more insidious than that. I think it's actually a case of, molding the mashed potato brain into buying things, where they're like, oh, we have a captive audience. You need this shiny thing to go bug your parents or whatever. And that's what I think it is, because all I saw was just ads for things. And I'm like, listen, bro, I just want to play the game. I don't want to buy anything else. If I wanted to buy something, I'd play a good game.
Okay, I've never seen ads in a lobby now, so that seems a bit weird.
Oh, here, are you for real? Dude, all it is like, buy this skin. This skin's coming here. Buy these V-Bucks. Here's how to get V-Bucks,
I pretty much exclusively play like single-player narrative games, so like this is an issue I do not arise with.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. I'm usually the same. I don't really like playing multiplayer games that much, but on Fortnite, literally, the lobby is just wall-to-wall ads and events.
That does not remotely surprise me.
Yeah,
well, it is a free game, isn't it? That's kind of a free.
It's a freemium model, but the thing about it is, if you have like the standard default skins, apparently, like, you're looked down upon as some kind of plebeian trash. So that's that's like the model.
Some Jim Sterling talk there.
Oh. Fair enough, but it's true.
Like a mirror to the real world.
Well, yeah.
It's almost like the exact thing The Sims was satiring.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we that's what I'm saying. We've crossed the Rubicon now from like what was satire into like reality. We are in a dystopian nightmare, and you said this last week, Bryn, and it's true. And nothing sums it up more than our video game media, where it's like, hey kids, isn't
it like really disturbing, like how much like especially like satirical works from like the late 90s are all like now at a point where you go, oh, that's just the way things are now. Like,
yeah, like 100%, yeah.
Like America basically has Montana Monks from Tiny Toon Adventures as a president. Like,
but not even that, right? Like, let's go a little bit beyond that. Demolition Man is like 15 years away from being reality. It's like, okay, here's where we're going, And Demolition Man is one of my favorite films of all time, but it's also. It's just kind of scary that's kind of a roadmap.
Yeah. At the time, the space cruise ship in WALL-E seemed a bit ridiculous. As we go on, it's kind of becoming a bit more like feasible.
It's becoming disturbingly more plausible as time continues.
Like, look, sci-fi is a window into the future. We were looking in the wrong way. We were like, oh yeah, Terminator, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that will happen. It's like, no, it's the small little movies that were, making jokes out of this that we should have been watching, not the killer death robots. They'll probably happen anyway, but in a different way.
Yeah, it wasn't the heavy metal apocalypse that we had to worry about. It was more like the more benign stuff that was in Back to the Future Part 2.
Fair. Speaking of which, I've I got like super into Plague Inc. recently, and also I watched Contagion again, and I'm like, yeah, man, probably should have been looking into that a little bit more. When I mapped exactly what was happening right now, literally to the letter, like it's like that's pretty scary. And Matt
Captain
Damon,
hindsight here, like
yeah, well, the whole movie is literally exactly what's happened, and it's just like, holy crap, they really nailed this to the letter. Or Plague Inc., which I'm not suggesting you use to map out real world, killer plagues, but if you do it, it's actually kind of like, yeah, they're pretty on the nose. So yeah, it is what it is. We should have listened. We should have listened.
Too late to rename the show. We listened.
It's getting so bad that we have a segment every week where it's just like we should have listened.
Hello, Nerd to Know Media here, coming live from this nuclear basement.
Coming from our survival bunker.
Yeah.
Actually,
The rat tastes terrible, but the fashion is great.
You know what? We could get sponsorship from those preppers. It'd be awesome. we'd be living in tin beans for the rest of our life with sponsorship there, and Audible and tin beans.
Because if one thing's going to survive the apocalypse, it's Amazon.
Oh yeah, like what's it? Audible, tin beans, and Twinkies. Good to go. Sorted.
Oh my god.
Please remember to remain indoors, ladies and gentlemen.
I was about to say, we're going to do the David Mitchell thing. Is that where we're going, Mitchell and Weblook?
The remain indoors, yeah.
Yes.
Do not
What
talk
is this?
about the event.
Something from before the incident, we assume.
Oh my god, yeah. We're laughing now.
Ceremonial robes.
We're laughing because otherwise we're just going to start weeping.
Yeah, that's fair. Well,
yeah.
I tell you, like it's weird. Like there's that meme that in the 20s of every decade, there's like a killer plague. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of scary. It's like shows up right on time.
Yeah.
But sure, we'll be grand, right? Yeah, grand.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Kev, I believe you saw the film Parasite this week.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call a transition in the business.
Kudos, applause for Kean. All right. Yes, I have been managing to keep up to date with the popular zeitgeist, and I got to see Parasite.
How was it?
Brilliant. Honestly, like I didn't go see it getting wrapped up in the Oscar hype. Now I've been excited for this for months. Love Bong Joon-ho as a director. Snowpiercer is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, really good
I haven't
movie.
watched it before, and I actually have a soft spot for Okja. Like it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, but it was still really, really enjoyable. Like I'll take Tilda Swinton in any form. Honestly, she's just brilliant. But yeah, no, Parasite was. I think it actually lives up to the hype. I see, because I went in knowing little to nothing about it. I thought it was going to be a thriller, but it's really this kind of weird mix of a drama, a dark comedy, and a bit of thriller elements in there. It's strange in only a way in only a way he can Bong Joon-ho can make it.
Well, see, anything with Tilda Swinton immediately is going to have that option of either just been really weird or just off the wall.
No,
insane.
she's not in this one.
Right. Okay. Fair.
That's another thing that I don't think a lot of people were confused about is that like it's a fully Korean cast with a fully Korean voice cast. So it's a completely subtitled movie. Yeah. Cool. it is. Do you know the premise at all?
No, I literally as I said, the only thing about the Oscars I know is the Keanu Reeves meme.
Which we're going to get into later.
Yeah. So
okay. Well, the whole premise of the movie is it's this really like lower class Korean family like living in a basement of a squalor. Their son managed to blag their way into being an English teacher for this really rich Korean family, and just the whole movie is just them trying to infiltrate this Korean household just so that they can survive, because they live in just such poverty. Right. And as I'm saying, I'm not going to say much more because like just the stuff that happens just gets so wild. You have to actually experience it.
Right. Well, my first question is, it's fully subbed, but they're acting as English teachers, so obviously they're not very good English teachers. It's fully subbed.
There's a couple there's a couple of moments where they kind of speak half English.
Because I'm just like, this negates you're not doing your job.
No, let me tell you, man. The English teacher thing is a subplot that gets dropped very quickly. Other things start happening.
Wow.
Immediately.
Okay. And you know what it sounds like to me? All joking aside, it sounds kind of like Green Room. And it sounds kind of like.
I kept meaning to because it sounded rad. It just never got around to seeing it.
That whole trilogy kind of has that same kind of thing where it starts off with a very loose premise, and then it's pretty much it's called the bad Blue Rune is the other one, and there's another one. I I can't remember the third one for the life of me. But yeah, it's called like the Bad Decision trilogy. Where
Wait, is this the one with Patrick Stewart and the Punk Club?
Correct. That's one.
Yeah.
That's one
I did not realize
Yeah.
that was part of a trilogy.
Yeah, well, it's a trilogy in as far as its themes rather than characters.
Like
so
like the Cornetto trilogy, sort of.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically, the premise behind that trilogy is we'll start with Green Room. Green Room as a punk band, they go play in a neo-Nazi club and they play anti-Nazi songs. Bad idea. And stuff hits the fan, right? So and then instead of just leaving, they keep antagonizing, and it gets worse, and eventually, you know what hits the fan, right? And then in Blue Ruin, it's a murder revenge story with somebody who isn't a murderer or good at vengeance, so stuff goes bad instead of just leaving it, and that's kind of like the premise of that trilogy. But yeah, that's what it sounds like, where it's like a loose kind of plot that gets stuff going, and then it's influenced more so by the story rather than by a plot, like.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. It's, again, as I said, it's one of these ones where it's a kind of I can't really I can't pin it down to one genre encompassing the whole movie, because it just dips its toes in thriller, and there's some parts of it that are just hilarious. I'm not going to give the context for this, but there's one section where a character starts mimicking a North Korean broadcaster, just absolutely on my face laughing, like. But
yeah, Kev, since you can't give away the plot, would you mind telling the guys the anecdote you told me about the fish from one of his other films? I think you told me that after closing the other day. It was and the Weinsteins and everything.
Okay. So have either of you seen Snowpiercer? You haven't, Keaton, correct?
No, I haven't. No.
Have they? Bryn, Dara, have you seen Snowpiercer?
Yeah, I have.
You have.
Dara recall. So yeah, and I know he has too.
All right. So do you remember the section on the train before the big fight scene with the fish?
This is where like there was the aquarium.
No. There was like they walk into a room, all the people coming from the back to the front, walk into a room, bunch of riot police, and then there's like a 1 minute scene where they just start slapping each other with a fish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, completely. Just one scene out of context means nothing. Right? Just this weird scene before a big battle. I remember reading something that basically that movie was produced by the Weinstein Company.
Oh really?
Yeah, like he had his toes in everything back then. Let's be real. Yeah. But films getting cut and shot, and Harvey himself comes down to Bong Joon-ho and was like, what the hell is this fish thing? I don't want this fish thing in my movie. This thing's weird. I don't like it. Get it out of my movie. But so Bong Joon-ho goes up to Weinstein and says to him, he's like, Harvey, listen, I understand, but like, it's something, it's actually got a really deep Korean meaning to me. It's actually like an old Korean ritual for luck. And, I put it in because to honor like my grandparents, it actually means a lot to me. And Harvey turns around and like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. Respect, salute to you. Like, okay, I respect you and your decisions. You can keep the fish thing in the movie. After the film release, people were asking about it, and Bong Joon-ho was like, no, it didn't mean anything to me. I just wanted the fish thing in my movie.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's so good.
Oh, he's an absolute gem. Like, yeah. I, again, don't know if you've seen the pictures rolling around of him at the Oscars, but, like, there's a great picture of him making 2 of his Academy Awards kiss.
Unreal.
He's a treat, and I cannot wait to see what he does next.
It's like in South Park where there was an episode they did where like it turns out Earth is a reality TV show, and then it gets the boys go up to this spaceship and they're talking with the studio execs who are behind it, and then it turns out the show's going to get cancelled. And they go off and have to talk to these 2 perverted, major network executives.
Oh yeah, the weird guys just doing so much.
They're based off of the Weinstein brothers.
Oh really? Jeez.
That explains so much.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it does. But because if you ever get a chance, listening to Matt and Trey talk about their experience of filmmaking, because they made full productions as independents before they did the South Park movie, or before they did I think they did Basketball and Orgasmo as fully independent films before they even did the South Park film. So, like their experience doing them was so entirely different from their experience in terms of just like getting like rated. Like for Orgasmo, they were getting an NC-17, which is basically like, I mean, it's like the rating above 18s here. You know, like it basically would mean like you're just not going to make money off the film if it's got that rating. You're just like, because there's just no way. Then like there's no way to even get kids to even like have it where like parents can bring a child to the film. So there's just no chance it's going to make money.
No, like nobody wants to advertise an 18 movie either.
Yeah, basically. So like, and they were going
particularly
like,
an 18s movie named Orgasmo.
Yeah, exactly. But they're going, well, okay, well, is there anything we can do to like get down to an R rating? And they said, well, no, we can't tell you anything like that. We're not like a censorship company or whatever. Like it's like you're just gonna have to like, you know, go off and do another cut and then, you know, send it off to us. It's like, oh yeah, send it off to you where we have to spend money on you rating it. And he's like, yeah, exactly. You have to pay us to rate it for you because you're an independent. So like they go through that whole ringer a bunch of times and they're going, well, this is what everyone has to do. So fine. And then when they were working on the South Park film, they found out that like Paramount was going to like lobby on their behalf to get stuff rejigged. And like, what the hell is this? This is bullcrap. Which is why those two films turned out so much more differently for like from what they initially planned, because they just deliberately tried to make things as terrible as they could. Like Winona Ryder's ping pong ball trick is so much worse than they had initially intended, because they realized they could actually screw around with the censors. You know, like,
they weren't playing. Pardon my pun. Now they weren't playing softball with it.
No, not at all. Like, you know, in Team America, there's the insane sex scene.
Oh yeah.
So like, have you ever seen the stuff that they cut out?
No.
What?
So like they went so much worse than what you see in the film. Like
before the watershed.
Yeah, I'm not going to describe anything, but it's just so much worse.
This is you know, viewer participation. Google yourself.
Yeah. Like if you've ever heard an aristocrats joke, you've got an idea of where this is going. And yeah, like because of that though, it just meant that they changed the because of that, it just because of that they were just going, well, like you have to give us some of it. You know, like you can't, like it's like they just kind of went so far off the radar that it's like, okay, well, you're going like, well, you have to give us something. You can't just say no to all of it. Like, so that's like how it was, like even what was there is like tamed by the standards of what they actually filmed. You know,
I'm just thinking of the poor puppeteers.
They were the poor puppeteers.
Like, you know,
they knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, they'll also never make a film like that ever again, even if you love it. So, but yeah, like, but it's one of those things though. Like, I find it so interesting seeing like how people get around. Like, if it is someone like a Weinstein going, "Oh, you can't," it's like, I don't want you doing this. This looks terrible. Seeing how people get around it, it takes some level of ingenuity, either by just going for cultural norms or by just going, "Oh, well, you don't like fish in it. Here's 20,000 fish. Screw you." Like,
time to set the bar so low they can only go.
Well, you have to go higher. One fish, Harvey. Like,
and that's how Harvey Weinstein ended up in an office full of fish.
But that's funny because actually I was thinking about all of that during the newest Tarantino thing. In it, there's I think I mentioned it on the show before, there's like a 1-minute sequence where it's just Brad Pitt feeding his dog. And it's the best scene in the movie. And if Tarantino didn't have so much pull in Hollywood, there's no way something like that would have made it in.
No, not one. Not
a hope.
Even though I would say that like that little bit is so like even though we would say, oh, it's really pointless, it's also really integral to what happens at the end of the film, because it does illustrate how well trained that dog is. You know?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, like it's like, I know what you're saying though. Like, it is one of those things where you go like, it would like they'd go like, no, Quentin, you can't do that. It's like, I know that you like, for the purposes of the story, he needs to show that he's a well-trained dog, but there's like a million ways you can do that. like that take a tenth of the time that the scene takes up. Like
it's that or Tarantino sat one of the producers down and was like, here's my 5-page essay on why I need this dog feeding scene. He's like, no, you know what? You keep that essay, you keep that scene with the dog.
I just love the idea that like it's in there because he's like, look, my wife is trying this thing where she's a dog trainer. I really want to make her happy right now.
It has a very deep significance for my people. It's just, they're all dog feeders. I don't know. All I was thinking was that 1 minute scene was more tense than anything that happened in Marriage Story.
I still have not seen that film.
It's excellent.
I do like the fact that in Marriage Story it is just people talking. Like, in the fact there's two of the biggest action stars at the moment and two of the biggest action franchises, and it's just them moving around the house talking. It's lovely.
Oh yeah, it's like a chess game. It's like they're both kind of just being maneuvered into hating each other by the circumstances. It's a really fascinating watch. Like,
100% would recommend.
Yeah, and they could both sing, which I was very surprised by.
Well, I don't know. I just like Adam Driver. I think he's cool.
I'm also just noticing that we are very slowly just rattling our way through the list of best Oscar winners.
We are indeed, Kev. So, did you guys get to check out the Oscars? I work in mysterious ways, Kev. Have you seen the Oscar results, by the way? Are you like waiting to watch it on TV, or can we spoil it?
I don't watch the Oscars.
I followed headline. In fact, I'm actually just looking up the results now, just so I know what the hell. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm actually, because I'm looking through just the at least the Best Picture nominations, and I've actually looking at it, I've seen more than I thought I would have with them.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of them except The Irishman, Ford v Ferrari, Parasite, and Jojo Rabbit, and I will get to them. I do want to like.
Jojo Rabbit is amazing.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I got to see it a couple of weeks ago. It is like you can't fault Taika Waititi now. I think you
can.
Dara doesn't like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, like I will say, everything that isn't revolving like destroying Norse culture is fine, and destroying the work of Jack Kirby is fine. But once
Ragnarok destroys Norse culture.
Hold on. Yeah, the event does. The event does.
But, Norse culture.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying is because tell you why he threw a fit that he had to direct Moana because he is it's culturally insensitive for anyone else to do it, and he goes and does what he did to Ragnarok. So other than that, but to be fair, what he did to Jack Kirby's work is far more offensive. But when he doesn't do that, it's grand.
I don't know. See, I've managed to level a separation between actual Norse mythology and Marvel's Thor.
For
to
sure,
me, they are two entirely separate
for
things.
sure. But
Moana.
What about Jack Kirby's work though? Because
again, I'm with saying that I never read the Thor comics. So.
Okay, well, with all due respect, you have to read the comics to understand what he did.
I read Thor comics. There's a few duds there.
There are, but not with Jack Kirby's work at all. Jack Kirby's work.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Like,
what? Just I'm going in. There's Korg. He's hilarious. The whole sequence, the whole joke with Thor talking about Loki turning into a snake and biting him, that still gets me every time I hear it.
But here's what I'd say. If the same Madden hadn't thrown a fit about Moana, I'd have no problem. But he did. He threw a little bitch fit about how this is his culture and we need to respect it, and then he goes off and does what he did. It's like, for me, that's being a hypocrite. Like, that's why I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Okay, man, if you had to just let bygones be bygones and just let people do whatever they want to do, that's cool. But if you're going to be a bitch about it...
I don't know. I think Lindsay Ellis has a pretty good essay on the deification of other people's cultures. Like, I think
But he went and did it then. That's my point. If he hadn't have done it, it would have been fine.
What I'm going to take away from it is that it's easier to be offended. It's
a lot easier to be offended than it is to actually do. Like,
well, no. What I was getting at was that it's easier to get emotional about a culture that has been repressed. When you look at someone like Scandinavia, they haven't really had a repression as much as like the Polynesians had.
Okay, fair. I'll take that point. But what I mean is
but like yeah. So, but like that, I think like that's a kind of like a layer that comes with the hypocrisy, like as you call it, the hypocrisy of it, of like when cultures are tied like that, people quashing other people's cultures when they have been repressed is sensitive. When something like the Norse mythology, which has always been a vibrant culture that nobody's ever kind of tried to kind of quash.
Well, except for the Christianization of it, and then.
Oh, who listened to the Christians anyway?
The Norse did. That's what the whole black metal movement is about. That's why it started. Literally, it's all the churches that were built in Scandinavia were built over pagan sites. So yeah, they were repressed quite violently. See, history degree, guys, it's important for these things. But that's my point,
whichever way you land on the discussion, he gave a very funny Oscar speech for winning the Best Adapted Screenplay. I think he talked about Apple software, like how about keyboards are getting worse and all that kind of stuff. I have a soft spot for whenever like award winners go really quaint and talk about people who fix their fridge and all that kind of stuff.
He also hates Apple. That's why. He's known as like in his studio he hates Apple computers. So that was like a dig at that.
Yeah, but like you've got the eyes of the world on you for like 30 seconds, and that's how you choose to use it. I'm impressed.
Well, what else was he going to do? He could have went off and did a speech like Brad Pitt, and everybody hates him.
Say thank you. This is the best day of my life. Cry. The things everything else does.
Like,
I don't know. I think like there's been like this weird thing with celebrity where people kind of expect something different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and if you had went out and just said thank you, people would have been like, "Oh, that's not like to wait." Like this is the same guy that picks fights with people on Twitter, who criticize him. So it's like, okay,
I'm starting to get the impression you and Taika have a much deeper history than you've been letting on.
No. I'd never engage with him at all on Twitter. I don't. The only people I engage with on Twitter are Hulk Hogan and random wrestling tweets. I don't engage with him at all. But
Hulk Hogan's still alive?
Yeah, and he blocked me on Twitter, which is my favorite thing ever. Getting blocked by getting blocked by millionaires.
What did you do?
Someone got him to like retweet something about Hitler, and we all just made fun of him for ages for being so stupid. So yeah, then he blocked him.
You need to double down on this though, Darry. You need to go after him and try to get blocked by Ric Flair. And,
have a list.
Yeah, try to go for the pretty much every big star from the 80s who's still alive. So the remaining four horsemen.
See, I did get blocked by Fozzy, not Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Fozzy the band, because I was hired to do a review of their album.
I was going to say Fozzy the Bear. That would have been impressive.
No, Fozzy the band, who I'm actually a fan of, and I just gave the album a bad review because the best song on it was an ABBA cover. And no disrespect to ABBA, because ABBA are great, but like when the best thing on your album,
they're singing your song.
I was just sitting there going, all right. And then I noticed when I was doing a review of their live gig, like a couple of days later, I was blocked, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Oh dear, I guess they're getting a bad review now. And they were pretty bad, so.
Sorry, I'm just reeling with the fact that Fozzy did an ABBA cover. I'm going to do some research here.
Dude, yeah, SOS is quite good. It's the only good thing on the album, to be fair.
Okay, I'm queuing that up for after this because that sounds great.
It is. It's not the best ABBA cover of all time, but it's not a bad ABBA cover, so.
Right, steering things back to the Oscars for half a second. Just in case anyone doesn't know. Yeah, Kev?
No, you go ahead. I'll come back.
All right, Kev. I'm very, very tense now. But Parasite got basically cleaned up. It got Best Picture and Best Director and loads of things. Joaquin Phoenix got Best Actor for The Joker, Brad Pitt for the Tarantino, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Zellweger for the Judy Garland thing. And yeah, it was a pretty even spread as far as all the Best Pictures. Like 1917 got like Best Technical Stuff. I think which something is people are very annoyed by. Little Women got Best Costume. What was the one that 1917? Yeah, 1917 Best Cinematography, Joker Best Music. So I think apart from The Irishman, Ford vs. Ferrari got Best Editing actually. From The Irishman, I think everything that was nominated for Best Picture got a fair spread as far as things. Like, is there any, like, do you guys have any, like, thoughts on that? Like, I know, Kev, you've seen most of them, so do you think is there anything, like, deserve to win more, or?
Nothing jumps. Again, to be honest, I don't take a whole huge amount of stock in it.
No?
So nothing's jumping out at me of, like, this was totally undeserved. Now, except for Best Animated Feature, but that's a whole systemic issue I have with the Best Animated Feature section. That's a whole issue in and of itself.
What one?
Just the
Toy Story 4 one.
Oh, that's disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because obviously Pixar released a movie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, no, it was when somebody pointed out to me the year that Your Name came out, Kimi no Na. That got snubbed, even though it broke so many box office records. And yet Boss Baby was nominated.
Oh god.
That movie is pretty bad.
And plus, like, you know, people will, like, there's been transcripts of the Academy voters vote. Like, they'll have, like, a little blurb of their vote. Most of them just don't watch the animated features, or they're just the ones they brought their kids to see.
Well, you know what? That doesn't shock me at all, to be fair.
No.
Like, you know,
but they put no stock into it at all. That it's like, why are you even a category anymore?
Yeah, well, look, what I will say is, you know, it's the same kind of thing as like, I know Joker. Well, Joker isn't really a superhero movie. It's like, the thing about it, like, what was the last Marvel? Endgame. Endgame came out, right? And, you know, that broke so many records.
Oh, it's the best-selling movie of all time now.
Right? And the Oscars like, no, that trash is below me.
Like, they're softening up to it, like, a little by a little, because, like, I think stuff like Black Panther and I think Infinity War would, like, they were kind of like nominated for, like, you know, costume design and editing and effects and that. So they absolutely mean nothing, but, like,
but like
it's softening.
Yeah, look, the Detente took less time to take than the Oscars are taking.
Yeah.
Now, like, it's that ridiculous, you know. And I'm just like, okay, the movies that won, in my opinion, deserve to win, but the fact that they can just completely ignore the most successful movie of all time, it's just kind of crazy. It's like,
yeah, because like once upon a time, Star Wars was nominated for the Best Picture, like, and so was, I think Jaws won it. Like, the blockbusters used to be worthy contenders, you know.
Yeah, well,
yeah, but
you know, I can.
The thing is, there's genre films now, so it's not.
That's it. Like, I think nobody expects them to be in the Oscar because everybody knows what an Oscar movie is nowadays.
And that's why I would say that a lot of people don't have any interest in the Oscars, because it's. You know,
they're very critical, darling movies now.
Yeah,
in the 70s, there was like Sissy Spacek was up for Best Actress for her performance in Carrie.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw any horror?
That's a good point. Well, to be fair,
award like that?
Bryn, what I will say is, when's the last time? Well, actually, no. I'm going to answer my own question there. With horror has been very hit and miss for a long time, but movies like
historically is hit and miss.
Yeah, but I would say for the past 12 years, with the exception of Hereditary and Midsommar, they're the first real movies where you can be like, you know what? They actually kind of deserve more recognition than just being horror movies.
Than just being
Get Out as well.
Cult horror movies, yeah. Midsommar cut deep. That's a movie that stuck with me.
Yeah, right. Like Hereditary, I'm not gonna lie. I was in the cinema by myself, and when the movie ended, I kind of promptly ran out of the cinema because I was so freaked out. But Midsommar stuck with me for a couple of days because it's not like on the ground horrific.
It's a real weird, like, it's very psycho, and the fact that it's all in daytime, that's I think the kicker.
Yeah, and it's just one of those movies where you're like, man, you know, lines were crossed here. I had an experience.
Yeah,
and it, you know, anyone who hasn't seen it, like, I would thoroughly recommend both those movies. Maybe not together. Give yourself some space.
I haven't actually. I still haven't seen Hereditary. I mean to.
Oh, Kevin, do yourself a favor, man. You'll really like it. Like, you really.
It's a matter of just finding the time to at this point. Yeah. No,
you really enjoy it.
Having watched Midsommar.
Yeah,
I want to watch Hereditary.
Well, apparently they're like, when you see it, they're like spiritual successors to each other. Like, Hereditary is a sequel to it, but it's Hereditary is much more kind of like much more of a straight horror movie. You know, where you're like, this is, your cut and dry horror movie, but it's done so well that you're like, this is fantastic. And the performances, the costuming, even the setting of it, they shoot it all in like in a kind of like a movable set, where it adds to that kind of unreality, while Midsommar is much more psychological. So yeah, look, but what I mean is in the past 10, 20, even 20 years, they're the only horror movies that I can point to and go, they kind of there. And some people like Get Out. Get Out did absolutely nothing for me, but I understand.
Oh, I love Get Out. I actually, to tie everything together, I went to see Get Out and almost saw Boss Baby by mistake. Oh, because we were in we were in that cinema on O'Connell Street, and me and my friend, we were like directed by the usher into like the screening of Get Out, and like we were there, and it's like 12 in the afternoon, and all these like mothers with young babies kept turning up, and neither of us kind of had to go, they know this is like a horror movie, and then the mothers kept trying, it's like, we should say something. We never thought it was us. It was just like, so we kind of like, there was, and we kind of waited and like, no, we won't say anything, we'll let them find out. Well, that's and then the baby arrives, and kind of there's the other shoe dropped,
Was this? This was this wasn't Cineworld. This was
the Savoy. Yes, really good cinema.
Yeah, it's good cinema. No, that similar way is how I saw the latest Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I saw by mistake because I thought I was going to see Alien, and it wasn't Alien. And I was like,
that's a sad time.
No, there was a better. No, there was a better one. There was a better one. Went to go see Can You Forgive Me? And I was supposed to go see something else. I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, what are you doing to me, Cineworld? Like, you just pay more attention to the screens.
Read the signs, guys.
It's great. Well, to be fair, neither one of those times were my fault. They were the people I were with. So, but yeah, it's just that experience where you're like, this isn't my movie. What's going on? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm in the wrong screen. It's like, whatever. It's all the same.
I don't know. Another time at the Savoy, I got steered into, I think actually the second time we tried to see Get Out, we got steered into a film directed by Zach Braff with Michael Caine, and there's a bunch of like elderly bank robbers, and I was like, yeah, actually, like, this is kind of fun. Yeah, I didn't pay for it, but I'm going to stick with it.
I don't think anyone in that cinema wants you to see Get Out. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm taking away from this.
Maybe. I did have to go to Cineworld to finally see it.
Fair.
If I may start tying threads back around here, speaking of Cineworld and moving back to the Oscars, I had an experience. So I went to see 1917.
Ooh.
But I decided to go to see 1917 in 4DX.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I bet you got your ass kicked. Yeah? Did you?
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because before you go, I saw Jurassic World in that. I have never been so beaten up in a movie in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry. Please continue.
No, what I was actually going to say is, because this is my first time having done it.
Right.
I actually didn't find it as distracting as I thought it would be.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
now,
surprising.
again, that might have just been... they did it so well for 1917, whereas Jurassic World, they might have dropped the ball a bit.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit.
But like, there was like, times where like, it shunted and the pad in the back of the chest. See, the thing, a lot of 1970, like where it has like its spots of really intense action and really tense situations. A lot of it is just walking from one place to the next.
Oh, fair. Well,
like it is kind of short bursts of 2 or 3 minutes, where Jurassic World would be a lot more like bam, 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 bam. So, but like the parts that did kick, I felt were really, really effective. The biggest complaint I have is, so there was fans all across like the top of the ceiling for like, big wind effects, and particularly in a movie that's like outdoors in the middle of World War I, lots of blowing gusts of wind. I have never been colder in a cinema screening in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I had to reach in and put my coat back on. But the jarring thing was, and when you're outside, just like your mind is feeling this cold breeze and like, okay, I'm outside. So you're kind of like, you're used to that feeling. And so when he walks out of a building and there is just a building up in flames in front of him, my mind is like, hot air. No, I'm still cold.
No, I my experience with that was I went to a screening in shorts because it was summer, And
Oh, no.
you have never been cold until you've been 4D cold.
Oh, I can top both your experiences. Me and Stevie and a few friends went to see what was the second Fantastic Beasts called?
From the Grindelwald.
That's it, the one with Johnny Depp. We went to a midnight screening. We didn't know it was going to be 4D, so we get in, and then it says 4D, and it specifically says if you're pregnant, you can't. So and it was the only screening in the building. So like, what we had to do was to compromise. We sat on the ground in front of the chairs because Stevie was pregnant and we didn't want to like get sick or anything like that. So we spent the entirety of a 2.5 hour, not very good Harry Potter film, watching it on the ground, looking over someone's head with 2 chairs sporadically kicking us in the back. Because now and again they just go poof forward, like, you know.
But Cian, were you prepared to smell the crimes of Grindelwald?
Oh God, I don't even want to look at
it. You know what? I found it okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hate that movie.
But you diss Harry Potter every week on this show. What's happening here?
Yeah, who wasn't in that movie?
Who? Harry?
Yeah, there you go. That's
you
the
have
problem.
Daniel Radcliffe hate?
No, not Daniel Radcliffe as such. Just Harry Potter. They should have killed him off in the first movie, and then it would have been fine. Or the first.
Then all the books would be called "And the Something."
Well, yeah, just like you know,
just like Dumbledore's Wacky Adventures.
There you go. Or what's that fella? The ugly lad that then became like not the ugly lad.
You leave Rupert Grint alone.
No, he's Neville. There you go, Neville. That's the one. Yeah, like it should have been Neville and the Chamber of Secrets, or Neville goes to Spar and gets a role, or whatever.
I mean, listen, I don't know what he's working on there, but I'm sure you could pitch that to him fairly easily.
What, going to Spar?
Yeah, Neville goes to Spar and gets a role.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I'd watch that, and I'd be like, yeah, man, cool.
With compelling dialogue, such as cut in half, butter or mayo.
To be fair, it's much better than most of the dialogue in those movies anyway. So.
Oh my God.
Sorry, people like Harry Potter and they still listen to this show, they know what's happening. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got confirmation actually yesterday. The Nerd to Know media will be doing a Harry Potter themed panel at this March's Dublin Comic Con, and I picked that topic specifically because I knew Dara wasn't going to be there.
While Dad's away, the children will play.
The evil man has left. Let's play the forbidden music.
I heard that.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. How long is it until the next Fantastic Beasts anyway? I know they've made like 5 of them, haven't they?
Did they not like
They're
end
contracted for 5. I don't know. I think it's still in production. I think Crimes of Grindelwald may very well have put a bag on it. I think the critical reception may have actually canned it for some rewrites.
But you know what they should do though, and to be fair, that the Cursed Child, just make that. That's actually not awful.
Yeah, I like the Cursed Child. I remember the frenzy selling the books. Like, I mean, you were there for that, Kev, right?
Oh God, yeah. No, I think they lost a beat just selling a screenplay. That's not a compelling thing to read.
Yeah. But the actual story itself is pretty decent. Like.
Oh yeah, no, the interesting some time play mechanics. There is some absolutely bonkers stuff that happens throughout that play. I got a chance to see it myself. Like, there's a whole section where they're on top of the moving Hogwarts Express, and the trolley lady stands up there as well, and her fingers just start extending.
But see,
it's nuts.
But see, that's what I love. I'm like, man, that's rad. That's cool. And it's just the fact that Harry Potter gets taken to task, and it sounds like, hey, man, you're actually a doucher. It's cool.
You can't spell Radcliffe without Rad.
No, you can't.
Also, it really, that movie has that play brings up the implications that around the whole latter half of the book series, that Bellatrix Lestrange looks at Voldemort and is like, I'm gonna hit that. And that's something I don't want. it's the same. And you know what? That's Rise of Skywalker has the same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, that makes more sense. Like, you're thinking Palpatine, he's like, yeah, I have some time. Let's go and
At least Voldemort has a bit of swagger, though. As men snakes go, he's pretty charming.
So, like, with Palpatine, though, you're like, well, what else are you going to do when you're, you know, you're the Emperor? Exactly, yeah, do it. Right? Do it. Screw it. Screw it. Do it. No, I love what I do like in Rise of Skywalker is the fact that they're so self-aware of the memes, and he actually says that at one point, and you're like, oh man.
Oh, see, I had the opposite effect. I mean, I was already pretty checked out, but when he said that, I was like, you're not. This isn't even a story anymore. This is a conversation with the fans that I'm not in on.
But dude, that's what the whole sequel series was. It was like, hey, I know you guys don't like the prequels, but we're cool too, all right? Let's remake the movies that have no point for making the movies. And then when
Stevie has so many thoughts. I mean, I know this show will be going out after we've done the panel at Shurikon, but yeah, she's rearing to go to hop up and talk about Star Wars.
Well, she's my champion because I
I was gonna say.
Champion.
Knowing Stevie as I do, if she hops in your chair, it's like you'll be there. It'll be the same rage.
That's why I'm like, she's, you know, was it WrestleMania? Bryn, help me. WrestleMania 23, was it? 25?
Oh, you're not talking about the Battle of the Billions.
I am, yeah.
23.
So, thanks, Kev. So, yeah, 23, where Trump had his...
Bobby Lashley.
And then Vince McMahon had a MAGA. Yeah, so it's like, there you go. I'm kind of aping that and selecting Stevie as my champion for this.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Cian, you got any of that?
Kev, I hosted a panel on them talking about it. I have mastered the art of smiling and nodding.
Like, I've watched a bunch of WrestleManias. I don't know what's going on.
I think I tried to watch it once, and the loser had to like lick the winner's foot while he sat on a throne or something like that. And I was like, you know what? This is just slightly beyond me. I'm gonna switch back over to Yu-Gi-Oh! And live my life.
I think you were watching something else there, man.
Yeah.
Could be.
I don't think WWE means what it think you mean there.
That never happened.
I'll let you all play conjecture with that.
Exactly.
No, my
oh god, it's gonna. Yeah. There you go.
Fondest memory watching a wrestling match was a Royal Rumble just some years ago. Don't ask me who won, but we decided to play we decided like, you know, put a bet down where, you know, lucky dip, you choose like one of the 50 numbers, 50 or 20? 20?
1 year was 40, most of the years it's 30.
Yeah.
I think 40. I'll think it was 40. So one, like, you know, pick a number between 1 and 40. That number is your wrestler, like last man standing out of any who we picked.
Yeah.
I got The Godfather. So when like number 27, this man walks out with 2 women on his arms in a big furry coat, just swaggers his way down the stage, slowly crawls in, immediately gets thrown out. I was like, well, there's my 5 quid down the drain. But it was entertaining to watch it go.
Oh,
did the 2 women catch him at least?
No, they'd left by that point.
And the terminology, Kev, that you missed is those women are called hoes.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, 2 congratulations. 1 on making it past, I'm assuming we're past the watershed.
Yes.
And 2 on the latest that Star Wars has ever come up in one of our episodes. Congrats all around.
Well done.
Well done, team. We did it. This is a proud day.
I believe in us all.
Oh, man.
A glorious day for this podcast.
That's
and, of course, the world.
The world. Oh, man.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, since Star Wars has been thrown up anyway, I mean, at least you could say 7 and 8 were like sort of meta commentary or even discussions of the original films. None of that is in Rise of Skywalker. I know Stevie loves it because it's like a film version of an apology, but I couldn't get around it at all.
7 was a meta commentary. Others would say it's just the same.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Abrams way.
That's the
What I would say is like episode 7 is, like someone might say it's meta commentary. I would say it's the most expensive fan film ever made. So, we'll just agree to disagree on that one.
I would say that there's people in jail right now for less, and that things called war crimes were less offensive than what J.J. Abrams did.
It's now living this far removed from the beginning of Lost, and seeing where J.J. Abrams is now, and seeing where Damon Lindelof is now. I think we know what went wrong with that series.
Yeah,
that's
because I've seen the new Watchmen show, and that's great.
Yeah.
That's a very
I just discovered Watchmen isn't on Amazon Prime. It's on HBO. I got the wrong bloody stream service to watch it.
No, I think it's not on Amazon. It must not be on Amazon here because it's on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
You have to get you can here. The only way to watch it legally is with
Sky Atlantic.
Yeah, it's on. You can stream it with Now TV, I believe.
I knew this was going to happen. I avoided getting a streaming service for so long, and now that I've got one, I have to get another one.
You see, okay.
The only one you need nowadays
so.
is Netflix because Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Keane, there's theoretically, educationally, theoretically out there, there are fictitious programs and fictitious sites where if one was so inclined, they could go and procure
and test their network strength.
Exactly. Exactly.
Acquiring such media from people who want to
disseminate,
share,
inform.
As a completely unrelated note, have you heard of a VPN that protects your data software?
That also works, and we're also open for sponsorship if NordVPN want to buy in. We'll also take Raid Shadow Legend. Is that one?
What's all the kids playing nowadays? Fortnite. We'll take Fortnite.
We'll take Fortnite. We won't take Fortnite because I can't play that game. I don't understand.
I have a team of children ready to help you.
They charge by the hour, I will warn you.
What's it? That panel where it's just the 3 or 4 of us playing Fortnite needs to happen too.
1,000 children on 1,000 typewriters making a single character for Dara.
I just want to get past the main menu, okay?
One of them will write Shakespeare.
I'm because my kids are fairly clever. I'm seeing this operation where it's like you're Darth Vader walking along the Star Destroyer, and they're all on these computers trying to make it work for you.
Sir, I've logged in. Good. Do not fail me again.
How long are we waiting in the?
Why is my character not bright green?
You're in command now, Admiral Small Child.
Oh my god. I am not naming the school I work in.
Yeah, probably for the best. Just, blanket term, don't name schools.
You want to get doxxed? That's how you get doxxed.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Oh my god. And by the way, Dara, at this point you have had so many theoretical segments on this show that we need to have a little theme song or a jingle that comes on
theoretical
every time you do that.
That can happen.
Just if we warp a John Williams theme, then that'll be the Star Wars segment.
No, because if that happens, that means that's how the show will just start, and then it goes off the rails.
Yeah.
There was one week where we just had a proper plan, and Star Wars was brought up way too early, and the show just went into.
Literally, the first thing you did as a reference point was talk about Star Wars, and then there it was just game over
Gone.
from that point.
I run the Facebook page for this. The amount of times I've had to go to the same 3 Star Wars pictures to promote it because the show is derailed into a Star Wars conversation.
To be fair, we did pretty well this week. We didn't derail it at all.
Yeah. There's people listening at home, just on the radio, who will never hear this and never knew that you talked about Star Wars.
Yeah.
If I may derail from Star Wars, if I'm not mistaken, guys, this video will be uploaded on Valentine's Day? ?
Maybe
on Friday.
I could upload it on Friday if people want it to be.
So,
Sonic.
have any of you been watching any romantic movies recently?
Sonic.
Or media?
It's going to happen.
The most romantic film of all time.
Of all time. Well, if we're going by Sonic 06, then yeah, he gets around.
Romance happens.
Pickups are no good.
No.
Oh my god.
Or that one scene in Shadow the Hedgehog where the president looks at the picture of Shadow and Sonic.
I forgot
That's in that movie. That's in that game.
There's also Sonic and Amy. That's one as well. And
No, it's not.
I don't know. It's confusing.
That's a one-sided relationship.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm like super excited about that movie, like way more than I should be as an adult.
Really? Super? Really?
Man, I have the day off. I have the day off, and that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to go see Sonic, and if it's not good,
Gonna be fun.
I'm gonna say I mean I don't hate it, but I'm more excited for your day off than I am for Sonic the Hedgehog.
I don't know, man. Like I wasn't until like recently, I was just like, oh yeah, man, this is gonna be great. Even if it's not, I'll probably go see what's now known as Harley Quinn Birds of Prey because
I want to see that. Yeah, whether it's good or bad, I want to see what's going on.
Halfway decent.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, it's good, but it's doing pretty terribly. So they've actually renamed it now to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey instead of Birds of Prey and the really long name.
I love that title. I'm gutted to hear that.
Yeah, well, that you can thank DC for freaking out and going, "Oh my god, this is doing worse than Jonah Hex."
It's hardly surprising when they fucking tanked the audience. Like it's not the film's fault for doing poorly. Like
what do you mean tank the audience? What do you mean?
I mean, when you look at how many poor films they've brought out for.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
okay.
they've squandered any level of goodwill that they might have had.
Yeah, I mean, like. It doesn't matter that like Justice League was okay. It doesn't matter that Wonder Woman was good. It doesn't matter that Aquaman was solid. People are just like,
like I think Aquaman probably suffered the same fate, but maybe got away with Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
that film did well. That got like $1 billion or something like that.
That movie was way better than it had any right to be. I was in the cinema.
Yeah.
Going, why is this movie so good? This movie should have been terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it should have been at least as bad as the Green Lantern film, and I think somehow it just turned out to be okay. I still would say it has like some pretty significant flaws, but I mean for an Aquaman film,
in the grand scheme of things, like when you compare it to Justice League and like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I have no problem with Justice League. I think it's just I think it just comes out a bit too bland, but it's the best depiction of Superman that they've done since they did Man of Steel. So I can't hate it, because like Man of Steel is just depression.
I think yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just depression.
It's depression.
Fair. Yeah.
Like I have a specific folder on one of my external hard drives, which is basically for movies that I will put on when I'm in a specific mood, but I don't know why. I have if I'm in a bad mood and I don't know why, I watch Transformers 3 because within 10 seconds of watching that film, I know I'm in a bad mood.
Because you're watching Transformers 3.
Yeah. But if I'm feeling down and I don't really know why, I put on Man of Steel and then I really do know why. Because, that film hurts.
It was actually really surreal watching The Boys on Amazon after Man of Steel and kind of going, oh, that's what it was trying to do. Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose maybe more Batman v Superman, but yeah, I kind of... there's a parallel universe where those movies turned out good.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that drives me crazy about it is that like those films come like they've got kind of like an Icarus problem where they fly just a bit too close to the sun and it just falls to the ground because like they're so close to getting the characters spot on, pitch perfect right, and it just just goes a bit too far past that, and it just starts
until they show it to one wrong focus group, and suddenly they have to reshoot half the film.
Yeah.
Again, even with like Batman versus Superman, I felt like as much as I really enjoyed the first act, where like you get to see Bruce do all of his detective work, and I really enjoy that. But that stuff has almost no contribution to what that film is actually about, and it would have served it a lot better if it was like if they did this like a viral marketing series than if they did it the way they did.
Well, I mean, think about poor Amy Adams in Batman vs. Superman. She has a third of the film, which is a subplot following bullets and things, and the ultimate conclusion she comes to is that Lex Luthor did it.
Yep.
We know. That was a third of a 2.5-hour movie, and she just, we learned nothing.
Also not the worst plot point in the film.
No. I thought the mason jar of urine was... was where the wheels kind of fell off.
Yeah. The wheels fell off, and then the chassis came completely unglued at the line of "Martha's my mother's name." And
I'm sorry. I think you're missing a point here of the exploding mason jar full of urine.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
How silly of me.
So wait, the double dream sequence back to back, where Batman is in the apocalypse and wakes up into a dream, where the Flash also arrives into a dream and then wakes up again. It didn't lose you then.
No, that was fine.
That was fine. All right. The bar is lowered. Everyone, we've lowered the bar. Yep. There's too many fish.
It's just a bunch of dead fish in a barrel.
Just a bunch of dead fish in a mason jar full of fish.
But see, here's the thing, though, right? I think I still don't hate Justice League at all, right? I didn't hate Man of Steel, right? I just was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. The movie that really made me just rage uncontrollably, believe it or not, was Suicide Squad. And here's why. I was in the cinema on opening night and I saw it and I enjoyed it. And I was like, that was pretty good. And then I went home and then I thought about it.
Yeah.
And I got more angry as I was like, wait.
That's a J.J. Abrams reaction. He didn't even direct it.
I was like, wait.
I remember, Darry, I remember seeing you, and we both seen Suicide Squad around the same time. And I was going like, oh, what, did you see it? And you were like, yeah, I just saw it. It was really good. And I went, yeah, give it time.
Yeah, it has that insidious creep where you're like, wait a minute. Half an hour of that movie was the same thing twice, and you just get more and more upset from there.
Pulling on that thread, and you just go like, "There's actually just nothing holding this film together."
It just tricks you. It's like, look at all the shiny things. Look at it.
There's a few movies like that where just one thing sets you off, and then suddenly you're just covered in this yarn of just anger and resentment.
Yeah,
I think the last Pirates movie did that to me. Yeah.
Oh man, that movie was...
Oh, you actually stayed and watched the Pirates movie? I didn't know that.
Oh man, that movie was so dumb.
Terrible.
Was Paul McCartney at least good in it?
No one was good in it. Everybody got... nothing was saved. It was just...
Truly, not even... what's his name? Barbosa.
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush. They even ruined Jeffrey Rush. He phoned it in.
Oh, but he never phones it in. He's like a proper obsessive actor. What did they do to him?
Pirate.
Yeah.
The worst things.
Oh.
Oh no, like that. Because no. Okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not falling in this rabbit hole. I came here as a guest. I'm not going to do this.
Look,
and you don't get to leave.
Do it. Do it.
There's a whole thing where the names are escaping me because I don't care about this movie. But the lead female actress, they obviously tried to write her very intelligent, except they just kind of made her really snooty. But to make her more intelligent, they dumbed everyone else down.
Yeah, that's classic.
To just the IQ of an anteater. It's just there is people will say things and the rest of the male cast will have just this slack jawed look. Except for Johnny Depp, who's coked out of his mind.
Well, to be fair, after what happened to him, I don't blame him.
Oh no, absolutely. But listen,
now
I'm
we
not
know.
getting into that. I'm not touching that hive of bees.
Now we know why.
I've never heard that phrase before.
Now we know why. It's just like, oh, there you go. That's why
Yeah.
you were doing what you were doing.
You get a pass. But yeah, like that's so like his performance is like a minor issue in that. That movie is an absolute train wreck.
Was Javier Bardem at least good?
No.
Everybody.
Everybody comes out of that movie worse. Like if they had just sat there and like pooed on the film, it would have been better than what.
It would have smelled better.
Yeah, exactly. I just remember walking out going
4D.
Like my question would be like, okay, one, there was no real reason for that movie to exist other than money. But is there anything they could have done to make that movie good? I don't think that exists.
No, like there's no plot point in that movie that was worth salvaging.
They could have left it longer before rebooting it. I think that's the only thing they could have done.
I think they could have just fully rebooted it at this point.
Yeah.
Even though, like, except, the big problem there is you gotta have Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow because nobody's gonna see it otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
and you know what? He's broke now apparently, so he needs the money. So it's just like no one wants to see homeless Johnny Depp.
Really, Tim Burton not got nothing for him now.
What is Tim Burton doing now? What was his last thing? Was the last thing the school for gifted children or whatever it was? Was that the last thing he did?
No. We had this conversation the other day, Kian. His last thing was Dumbo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
God.
Dumbo came out the week of Primrose being born. That's why I missed it. Like, I did not know it was a Tim Burton thing.
No, it was like, yeah, I didn't see it, but I saw the advertisement for it, and I'm like, this movie looks really depressing and horrible, and that's saying something because Dumbo is very horrible and depressing, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to see
Tim Burton
this
movie.
Yeah, it's like, just go back to being, good Tim Burton, where you made.
That's
Ed
a shame
Wood
because, like, I noticed in the cast that all of his like early Tim Burton friends are there, like Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but they're making a movie about Dumbo, dude.
I am baffled. Like, I have not seen it. I nor do I want to, because the more I hear about that movie, the more I'm just confused.
Well, I mean, if you've seen the original Dumbo, which I have recently, actually, like, there's so little in it because it's the third Disney movie they made back when an animated feature wasn't a movie. It was a chance to do weird, trippy visual things like the elephants on parade and all that kind of stuff. It's not a story, really. So you can't pluck a story onto it, especially when you take out the crows, which I'm assuming they did.
Yeah,
they did.
Like, the crows actually play like a massive part in that movie.
They're like integral. They're one of the very few integral characters in the narrative, actually.
Well, they actually like play that part of like traditional chorus, Greek chorus.
Yeah.
And it's just like once you took those out, I'm like, but I think what they did is actually they replaced that with actual human characters, which don't make any sense. So it's just like okay.
Okay. And also, Dumbo doesn't talk as well. Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, lads,
one day these Disney movies will still run out. Not Disney in general, but like the live action remakes. They have to.
I don't think
eventually.
so. Because what they'll do is eventually they'll get into a cycle where everybody forgot about the original ones, and then they'll start again.
Here's a new Cinderella.
Exactly.
Cinderella though.
The Cinderella one wasn't bad, actually. To be fair.
Yeah. They so like I'm trying to think what the classic ones they haven't done at this point. It's like Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty. They've done Snow White.
Did they?
I don't know if that counts.
No, Snow White, they weren't Disney ones. No, because Snow White's a fairy tale character. She's a free domain, like.
Yeah, she's public domain, basically.
Yeah, there's it's like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty.
I just got really sad because I just realized that there is a Beauty and the Beast one. And I'm really sad by that because I'm like, I love Beauty and the Beast. This is like, they ruined it. They ruined it really badly.
Yeah, well, they didn't ruin it as badly as they did Aladdin. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair. But see,
I I think I've just checked out of them now. I have no interest in Mulan, and I don't think.
See, hold on, Kevin. On that point, right? Mulan. The best thing about Mulan is the songs, and they got rid of the songs. It's like,
it's like
what are you
they're
doing?
diluting it down. Like the only one that they can announce that will draw me back in is Hercules. Not because I'm hoping for a good movie here. There is no way they can salvage Hercules and make it a live action movie. That movie can only be a train wreck. And I'm all in.
Again, right? The best part
of Hercules, but that would be so like it'd be just like a recipe for disaster as a live action piece.
But again, right?
Original Hercules, because that's you know, as it is, it's a tragedy.
But yeah, a Greek tragedy, but
literally.
But as like as a movie, right? Again, the best part about that is the songs, and they're going to probably cut the songs. So it's like, what is even the point here? You know, what are you achieving? You're just making bad versions of good to semi-decent movies. I just don't understand it. Other than money, because obviously they want money.
Yeah, no, it's money. It's totally like to keep the copyright in to like hold on to the copyright.
That's just.
Well,
really
I mean,
sad.
even still, like a lot of those stories are very much in public domain to a certain degree. Like, I think. I mean, when it comes to, I think like Emperor's New Groove is like one of the only stories they've done where it's actually like it's kind of like a Moana thing where it's like based off of like off of ethnic culture, but it's not actually based off of any myth or legend. It's like Hercules, they have a much harder time of going, oh no, well we own that. And same with like
we own that.
You know, so and like even like the Jungle Book as well is like there's no way that they can do that for copyright.
You try and explain that to the estate of Rudyard Kipling.
The book Jungle. There you go. Yeah.
Just just Yodify every single passage.
The Beast Beauty.
Lads, I can hear Prim kicking off. Do you mind if I sign off here?
Yeah, go for it.
You guys by all means keep going. I'll check in with you later. But thanks very much, guys. Kev, you having fun, yeah?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is great.
Great.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Dara, send me on the link when you're done. All right.
Will do. See you, Kane.
All right. See you now.
Take care of yourself, man.
And on that point, I think we'll wrap it up.
I think for the best, yeah.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. Have you got anything?
Thanks for having me, lads. This has been a blast.
No worries. Have you got anything you want to plug before we say goodbye?
No, I'm just a dude. I just live here. Like that's
fair. Brendan, anything you got to plug?
No, I have nothing to plug, unfortunately. So, except for the big con that we have for this Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday.
At
Shurikon, I believe our time is still 2 p.m. on Sunday in the panel room.
Yeah, the Black Box Theatre.
Yeah,
Black Box Theatre at 2 p.m. You guys are going to be there talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, it'll be our postmortem / group therapy session on Star Wars. And yeah, please come along. It's a safe space to talk about Star Wars and the pain it's caused us recently. And you know, we'll all come out of it feeling a bit better, I hope. But yeah, that's like my main plug for this week.
Awesome. My plug is just going to be our website, nerdtoknowmedia.com. You go there, you're able to check out all our links to everything. Let us know what you thought about the show. Subscribe to the show, Spotify, iTunes, all that kind of good stuff. And also, don't forget to check out our other show on... Loads of shows actually were on the feed. So, new Straight Outta Canto interview that Keen did with the folks over in Shurikon. So, if you're not subscribed, do. And from everybody on the team, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.